it going, everyone? And welcome to the Smack Rock Podcast, your one-stop shop for WWE and AEW's news, recap, reviews, and pay-per-view predictions. Today, I'm here by Colin and Benji. How's it going, guys?
Yo, what up, what up, what up?
All right,
What's
so
happening, man?
we had a hell of a pay-per-view today, right? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to recap and review and just react to everything that happened. But before we do that, make sure you follow us and subscribe to all our Podbean, like our Stitcher, our Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all our streaming services, all of that good stuff. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at SmackRawPod. I didn't mention this before, but I am your host, Vince. You can find me at SESVince. Benji, they can find you at Calavera Comedy.
Yes, sir.
Colin, they can find you on Twitter at WrestlingChump because you are a chump for wrestling. Did I get your whole gimmick right?
Yeah.
I got your whole thing down pat.
That's
Cool.
it, man.
Sounds perfect. Also, we got a YouTube channel, so that's the thing we got going on. You go over there, like, comment, and subscribe, all that other good stuff. And with that being said, let's get right into this pay-per-view. I'm sorry if that intro wasn't the best, but god damn if this pay-per-view didn't leave an impression on all of us. That's a kind way to put this, right, guys? This is
definitely. This changed my life, I think. My whole life perspective changed on this pay-per-view.
Didn't know. Okay. But let's start off with the kickoff match because we actually had one of those, and we had Lacey Evans taking on who she
Natalia.
She took on Natalia. Yeah, she definitely did. As you can see in the image right here, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you should head over there, so you can see this beautiful slideshow I have for you people. Lacey Evans, Natalia, it's a feud we've seen so many times. In the end, it was Lacey Evans trying to continue the mind games with Natty and try to go for a sharpshooter towards the end. Ended up costing her the match and got into a sharpshooter herself. Are you guys surprised with this? I mean, we're not gonna spend too much time on this match, but quick thoughts on this match.
I don't have enough. I need to see this match a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with the result, but the one thing that I can say is the best that I've seen Lacey since she's come up to the main roster. That's one takeaway that I have. It's the best she's been.
Progressing, right? I think every match.
Yeah, that's all you can strive for as a wrestler is just progressing. Day to day.
She's got her character down pack. Everything's down pack.
The character is really good. But yeah, like I said, the story of the match was, it was. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and talk like I dissected this match because I really didn't. The ending is what stood out. She tried to play more mind games and showboat, and it ended up costing her. Like I said, she ended up in the sharpshooter, and
she got tapped.
She got. As R-Truth likes to say, she got. And yeah, so at least leading into the last woman standing match tomorrow on Raw. So we'll see where that where that shit goes from there. But overall, this show, the one thing that everybody was complaining about is that we had 4 matches leading into the pay-per-view. It felt kind of thrown together, if you ask me. But I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was a really fun show. Besides the ending, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Sometimes chaos creates beauty. You know what I mean?
I guess if I guess Joker, Joaquin Phoenix over there, you want to wreak chaos amongst the world, the wrestling community.
Well, to me, if you look back, go back to Stomping Grounds, the pay-per-view that had no chance to be good, thrown together. Everybody pretty much overall enjoyed it. So that's how I came looking at this, right? I viewed it when you're back in school or whatever, and you have a paper due, you didn't do anything till the night before. You try to rush and get it all together. That's what this pay-per-view felt like to me, and it brought back a lot of memories.
I feel not to cut you off, Benji, but I feel like that's how most of our podcasts go. Specifically ours. Whenever it's 3 of us, they're pretty good podcasts. But man, if we don't just throw shit to the wall and hope it goes well. Let's just get into the actual card. I feel like we're wasting too much time. The first match kicked off great. Honestly, I think it was the match of the night. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Raw Women's title, inside Hell in a Cell. Only the second women's Hell in a Cell match in history. Sasha's been part of both. Guys, am I like overselling this match? Am I overhyping it? It was the best match of the night, right? Like it's
I came in really pessimistic, like it's not gonna be good or whatever. I don't know for
so
whatever reason.
so
Maybe I woke
basically
up on
how
the
you
wrong side
treat
of the
life,
bed.
right? Like you wake up
Yes,
on a daily basis.
exactly. I was just like, you know what, today's not gonna be a good day. And you know what? I got unicorns in my cereal, man. This was amazing, man. It was just like spot after spot, like innovative stuff like I had not seen before. Like they fully took advantage of this match, and I was just knocked off my little socks.
So you wear little socks then. So they're not regular
Don't
size
don't,
socks.
don't judge socks the size of my feet, man.
Okay, but
Don't feet
like
shame me.
like like you were saying, the match started off hot because like as the cell was lowering, like that's when Sasha like took a cheap shot at Becky and slammed her against the cell as it was still like semi lowering. And the match started off on the outside, like that was a very interesting way to start off a match because
Right, right.
they got
Yeah, I'm
they
just
got the
glad that they
spot.
got.
Yeah, they got the outside the cell spot, but
Yeah,
without actually going through the cell.
I'm glad that they then worked it back in really quickly because my whole take with a Hell in a Cell is it's in a cell. You're meant to be inside it. You're not meant to be outside it. So I'm glad that they got back in quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Two things that actually kicked off this show for me before we get into the positives of how good this match was. One, they're still using that shitty red cell. I hate it. I don't know what you guys think
What's
about
wrong
it,
I
with the
but
red cell? I
I
think it's
I
think
attractive to my eye
hate the red
sockets.
cell. I just hate it. It's
so
so
here's the thing. Without spending too much time on the cell, I agree with you. I don't like it. It was more jarring last year. Maybe it's more of a I've seen them more times now, or maybe it's just that the match was so good that I didn't pay attention to the cell because honestly, I forgot the cell was red at some point. So that's one
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I hear that, yeah. And the second point though is King on commentary gave us another absolute cracker by calling Dio Madden D'Lo on two or three occasions on the entrances.
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
sure if you guys picked
I
up on
didn't
that.
No,
even
no. My natural
disrespect.
instinct,
Wow.
my natural instinct right now is to like tune out King. So the minute like I hear his squeaky voice, I just like think of other things. I think of Tom Phillips commentary. I think of Dio Madden. I think of Mauro Ronaldo. I think of Corey Graves,
I
Michael
just
Cole.
picture Michael Phelps swimming through the ocean
Oh,
while the
okay.
sun glistens on him.
Okay. Well, we're getting off topic. Let's get back into the match. And the Becky and Sasha, like I said, it started off hot. They started on the outside. At one point, the refs were trying to close up the cell and lock it up, but Becky stopped the refs and grabbed the chain and used it as a weapon. That's something I wanted to wrote down because I never unless I just didn't see it before, but I can't remember someone grabbing the chain and using it as a weapon. Like to start the match. That was very
Wasn't that a cheap shot though?
no, because the match was already started. And here's the thing: Sasha started with the cheap shot first. Like eye for an eye, right? Eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye leaves everybody blind, and I'm glad everybody had the vision for this match, man. Because, like you said, they started off with that spot, the chains, and then they started wrestling, and just Sasha got took a lot of hits in this match, man.
Yeah, but she also dove some out herself because, like you were saying, Benji, this was very creative and unique. I actually wrote that down. Like they're very creative. There were so many spots that I didn't think about. Like at one point, Sasha to start off the match, Sasha set up the ladder against the cell, and I'm like, what the fuck is that gonna be used for? And literally a couple minutes after the fact, she hit a meteora onto Becky in the on the ladder, which looked like it hurt Becky a lot because the back of her neck hit one of the
Like
the part.
whiplash, right?
Yeah, dude, that was amazing. And then what else? What else did she freaking do,
Yeah,
man?
that was the whole point of this. This whole match was just very, very creative. As you said, that they were doing some very inventive things that we haven't seen before. Like the next one that I could think of is
I
at the cell door where Sasha gets Becky's arm outside the cell
Yes,
door.
yes, that was actually the
And
next
she's
spot I
just
wrote down.
yeah, so she's just slamming the door then into Becky's arm, which is again, it's on the chain, but it only has about 3 or 4 inches that the door can open, and Becky's
Right.
arm gets stuck in there, and she's just nailing her with that door over and
Mm-hmm.
over again. Um, she hits the meteor then with Becky sitting on the chair was another one.
Yes, exactly. I love that. There were like maybe like as many meteors in this match as almost curb stomps that Seth Rollins had at his. There were a lot of meteors in this match.
There was the candlestick setup with the chair in the corner of the cell.
That was spot of the night. Really spot of the night and the most inventive thing that we've seen all night.
Becky Lynch sets up some candlesticks. She jacks them against the cell. She puts a chair on top of it.
She sits Sasha.
Starts fighting with
chair.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell is she gonna do here? Like, Sasha's on the chair, pinned up by some candlesticks on the cell. What is going to happen here? Then Becky climbs up onto the apron, does the sign of a cross. Like, this could go bad, right? And just drop kicks the shit out of Sasha on that. Man, that was the spot of the night.
It really was. That spot was amazing. And then, like, here's the thing. They just kept going at it. And then they ended up going back into the ring. And Sasha hit, like, one of the best backstabbers I've seen in, like, years.
Becky flipped, like, she almost flipped out of the arena.
She flipped harder than The Rock does when he gets Stone Cold stunned. That's how much she flipped.
She got up there, man.
She looked like a magic carp out of water. But then after that, the whole setup, like, Sasha was trying to powerbomb, I think, Becky or something into the table. She started setting up a table after that, right? And she was just trying to toss. I don't remember if it was a power bomb or what kind of move Sasha was trying to do, right? And then Becky tries to reverse it. That's what happened. Becky tried to reverse it into a power bomb, and then that Sasha reverses again. And like I was saying earlier, she hits a Meteora on Becky through the fucking table. And I don't know if you guys noticed, like, Becky jumped into the air, so, like, the impact is harder, and they make sure they break the table.
Hell yeah, man.
Because
like last time?
Yeah, Sasha, oh my gosh, Sasha cannot go through
Sasha
tables.
Can't break tables. Yeah, she can't break tables.
Hey, neither can Becky, because her and Charlotte tried to put Ronda through a table, or was it the other way around?
At Mania, the finish. I think it was a Charlotte, and she barely caught the end of the table.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a bit of a botch finish.
And then, like, from there, like, man, the entire match, both of these girls were aggressive with one another. You could tell they're friends. Like, you could tell they're friends because the best matches and the matches where they beat the shit out of each other the most are between the closest of friends. Look at Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. Those are some of the closest of friends, and those are some of the most gruesome, brutal matches that I've seen, and the most physical matches I've seen. And
no one can hit you just as hard as a best friend can, man.
Oh, no, they hit you right in the soul, man. They hit you right in the soul. I mean, at one point, she used a kendo stick in, like, back, like an assisted bank statement with the kendo stick on Becky, and at that point, I was like, oh, shit, is Becky gonna tap? Like, I don't know, like, maybe that was just me. Maybe that was just, like, the Sasha mark in me that just came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, Sasha's gonna win.
Yo, there was even a moment. So Becky Lynch is in the middle of the ring, and then Sasha goes out to get some chairs, and she just starts
some chairs.
She starts, yeah.
She just, like, makes a mountain of chairs.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's put this into context. She got a shitload of chairs.
Shitload of chairs. Just started throwing them into the ring, man. Some of them just start clipping Becky as she's just lying there, man. She's just throwing them. Just
at one point, I think it hits like Becky's face or something, and then Becky had to, like, adjust or something so it doesn't, like, properly hit her. But it was just funny because and unfortunately. I saw that happening, and if you watch enough wrestling, if you set something up in the ring, it usually means because you're setting it up for yourself. Because, like, sure enough, slowly after that, like, Becky, like, regained the momentum and just hit a backsploder off the top rope into the damn freaking, like, pile of
mountain of chairs.
Yeah, just like the Mount Rushmore of chairs that they've built and shit. And you would think that would be it, but no, Becky's like, nah, bitch, you made this shit personal. I'm bringing the pain. Just like she said on Raw, she's like, she brought the pain. Because not only did she put her through the damn, like, mountain of, like, chairs, she then goes into the disarmer, and I'm over here like, no, don't tap, don't fucking tap, don't tap, don't tap. And then she tapped.
Down.
It actually looked like she wasn't. I thought she was, because she was reaching for a chair. Sasha
and then she reached her hair. She started pulling it.
Yeah, she was reaching for her. She was reaching for the chair. She pulled on her hair. She struggled. She really struggled. But
she played it really, really well, because I was actually thinking, like, Sasha's getting out of it. She's gonna just smash Becky with a chair, but then she obviously couldn't hold it for too much longer. But yeah, she just had to tap in the end. But one bit as well that we kind of that I noted that we kind of skipped over a little bit was after Sasha got those pile of chairs in the ring. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but Sasha picks up a chair and starts laying into Becky.
Yeah, she
But
does. She does.
I'm not sure if you noticed where she was kind of hitting. She was hitting Becky in the head. Now, not one shot connected with Becky in the head because she was
Oh.
obviously over hitting and hitting the pile of chairs.
Yeah, she just like she was
But
taking her frustration on the chairs.
But the intent was that it was Becky's head. Now, they weren't unprotected chair shots. We won't go that far. But the intent was for the first out of 2 times in the night that we're after seeing, and we'll get into the second one later on, we saw chair shots to the head.
Yeah. But the one thing that I wish, like, because I'm glad you brought that up, Colin, because the one thing that I hated about that is because it was so blatantly obvious that she wasn't connecting at all and just hitting the chairs.
Yeah, it was.
They should have changed the camera angle. Like the minute they noticed that, like it was a bad camera angle, because like I completely forgot about it because it was so forgettable. Because it was a good, cool spot, but you could obviously tell she was. And we know wrestling is fake, guys. You know, maybe I'm just like ruining the secret for you guys.
What did you say?
It's predetermined. It's predetermined. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, like it just went ahead and it just looked bad. That's my only critique of this match. So, but
I think that's more down to Sasha. I don't think the camera angle has anything to do with it.
No. The camera angle has to help.
Oh no, of course it does. But I think Sasha, she went in front of Becky's head rather than behind Becky's head. If she had to put the chair at the back of Becky's head as if she's hitting behind her head, and the chair is actually going over Becky's face, which she didn't do, that would make it look like she's hitting her in the head. She didn't do that. She was hitting before Becky's face. So it made it more blatantly obvious that she wasn't hitting her.
Yeah.
I think that's down to Sasha. I really do. I think Sasha could have made that look and feel a lot better. And I do get where you're coming from with the camera angles, but I think it's down to Sasha. Sasha could have made that a hell of a lot better.
I think the only person that's not to blame here is Becky Lynch because she walked away the winner, you know. I'm interested to see how this plays out because I know I was, and a lot of people were speculating that she might be going to Fox on SmackDown, but she can't go to SmackDown if she's the Raw Women's Champion, right?
Maybe, right, so what does this happen? Like, does she stay on? Does she lose the belt the next? Oh, you're right.
Tune in to Monday Night
Raw
the red
tomorrow. Belt. Maybe the red belt goes to the blue brand and the blue belt goes to the red brand.
No. See, you can't do that, Colin, because eventually they just turn purple. You know, then it'll be the 205 Live, the Cruiserweight Championship, and you don't want the 205 Live Women's Champion. No, you know that was a bad joke. You know, whatever. But they'd just be purple. You know, it makes no sense. Let's just go into like the next match since we're all over the place and it feels like a tornado just hit this entire podcast. The next match was a tornado tag match, which wasn't announced initially. It was Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns taking on the former Bludgeon Brothers, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Like I said, it was just a normal tag match, and before the pay-per-view, during the pay-per-view, I don't know when the fuck it happened, but it's a tornado tag match now, and I'm glad they did that because they were able to like do so many great things. So like the match wasn't like a 5-star match by any means, but there were like so many spots. There were like so many cool spots in this match. Did any of you guys take some notes for this?
So what I wrote down in my notes was tornado, because that's really how this went, man. It was just a cyclone of action and spots. Like everybody shined in this match, man. And like there was like Eric Rowan to me has looked like the best he's ever looked than I've ever seen him, man. Like he looks like he belongs, you know. Especially with a lot of stop and go with his character and everything. Luke Harper finally back. He took a scary spot in this, which I've been saying forever. They need to watch those corners of those tables, man. We've already seen a lot of close calls with eye injuries with these tables.
Yeah. Didn't Ali like fuck up his eye like during like the Rumble or Mania or something? And
it was that Andre Battle Royal thing with Luke Harper had him in the suplex position, and then
it involved Luke Harper again, you know. But this time it was him that was getting his.
He took that scary spot. To me, I'm gonna get ahead a little bit. I'll let you guys come back. But to me,
by all means, let's fast forward.
All right, just to me, the spot of this was the whole ending sequence with You get Luke
okay,
Harper.
okay. So that before we get to
yeah, that's
spot,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because that's one, like, the one spot I do want to mention was that spear through the table that Roman had, because that was a really cool spot.
Oh yeah, okay. So we get them on the tables, right? The announce tables. You know that when you see like multiple announce tables, they're bound to get broken, right?
It's usually the Spanish announce table.
It's usually the Spanish. Shout out to them. So Luke Harper's going for a powerbomb, and then Daniel Bryan reversals it into a Hurricanrana, hits his face on the table on the way down. Takes Harper down. They're both down. Eric Rowan's looking at him like, "Yarp, like what's going on?" And then he turns around and gets the absolute shit speared out of him by Roman. Roman knows how to hit a spear spot. They just collapse onto that table, dude, and it looked like a little mini cyclone that hit it, man, because that table went boom and everything just went everywhere. You had pencils flying, like it was just destruction, man. It was such a beautiful,
if
beautiful.
Mara was out there, there'd be Mamma Mia's all over the place.
Yes, and here we go again. My.
No, okay, so
man, like
not to get too sidetracked.
That spot right there.
Not to get too sidetracked. Sorry, but am I wrong to say that the most entertaining and like guy off of the Shield like years later is Roman? Like, Seth's become a stale babyface. Dean Ambrose is no longer with the company.
That's debatable.
Right now, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Right now, my favorite member of the former member of the Shield is Roman. And who would have said that?
For a fun type style match like this, I completely agree. But I think
who are you most invested in right now? I'm not invested in Moxley whatsoever. I don't care what
Rollins for me all day. He's doing the best stuff.
No, I don't. Me and Benji on our part here. So, we're gonna shit on Rollins for like a good 30 seconds, but Rollins has been one of the most boring champions in a long time.
Corn dog,
corny
trash.
Champion. They've done a disservice to Seth Rollins. He's a phenomenal wrestler, but he's like. He has
the best matches.
No, he doesn't. He just comes into a match with unlimited finishers. That's not no. Let's get back to this tag match, because it felt like they had unlimited finishers, because to finish off this match, it was a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. It was the flying knee from Daniel Bryan, and then the spear to close things off. Poor Luke Harper, he just came back just to get destroyed by the team of Daniel Bryan and Roman.
It was the way that went down. So he gets Superman punched. He starts walking towards the middle of the ring. Then he gets kneed by Daniel Bryan. So he goes back, bounces off the ropes. At the same time, Roman's running the other direction. So as Luke Harper rebounds off the ropes, comes to the middle, he gets speared by Roman Reigns. That ending segment was beautifully done.
It was really good. And after the match, if you guys noticed, Roman or Daniel start off with like a handshake gesture, and then Daniel teased the heel turn, saying like, no handshake. But then he pulled the Batista's like, no, Roman, friends don't shake hands. Friends got a hug. And he brought out the hug, like the callback to like the Team Hell No stuff, like the hug it out stuff. And Roman was a trooper. He was a real bro. He went and hugged Daniel Bryan, and they had a really feel good moment at the end.
Whoa. Roman went to walk away.
He went, but he did it.
Roman wasn't hugging, but why did he do it? Because Daniel Bryan went full face. This is the Daniel Bryan that we have back now.
Did you guys?
Daniel Bryan turned to the crowd and got that crowd into it and started doing the yes chants again. And that's when Roman came back for the hug. That after segment, the only point of that was to get the yes chants, to get Daniel back to a full face again.
Did you guys?
Because we have been indecisive on him lately.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys notice at the end? Like, I didn't notice it at first, but my sister pointed it out to me. When he got to the top of the ramp, he collapsed. Daniel did.
He was grabbing his neck, and I don't know if it was just selling after the match, or he because it was awkward at another place, because he was already done. He could have just kept walking. There was no need to do that.
Is this Bryan or Roman?
No, Bryan. Bryan collapsed at the top of the stage.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
He started grabbing his neck. Yeah,
he started grabbing his neck, and he slowly collapsed. It wasn't like oh my gosh, he just passed out type of collapse, but it was more of a like his knees gave out, and he just like it was just like a slow like ginger collapse, but like it wasn't enough to like be concerning given his neck history. But you know, like you said, it was
hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully he is okay. Someone who I also hope is okay is Ali, because he took a beating from Randy Orton. They had a really, really like. I don't know about you guys. I enjoyed this match. It was a typical Randy Orton match, but there were a lot of like cool stuff in here. Like
it was like a match to me. It was a match that like, okay, we need a match here. You guys are backstage here. We'll put you guys together. You guys go out there and do something.
I feel like that's the setup, because like during the kickoff show,
Right,
supposedly
yeah.
that like Ali was saying something and then Randy Orton changed into the match or something like that.
Right.
And it just happened. This felt like a very like SmackDown Live type of match. It's like a match that would happen during like a casual random SmackDown Live. But
Right.
by no means was it bad. It wasn't a pay-per-view level match. It was still solid.
do a lot. There was no story as well. Like,
You know
it was
what the
just
story
it was
was?
thrown together.
The story
And-
was to build up Randy Orton as a capable captain for Team Hogan, because they did it like another like they were doing like the whole like
forgot
team,
about that.
like
You're right.
crown jewel stuff. Like that's what this match was. They have to keep Randy Orton in the limelight because he's going to be the captain. You know, Seth Rollins is the other captain for. You know, I said that he was for the captain of Team Hogan. He's the captain of Team Flair. I just kind of like.
Right.
I don't want to get into it too much into it, but like I made a joke to Benji a while back saying that he's actually trying to be on Team Hogan, given Hogan's history and Randy's Twitch history. You know, I was making a joke that like Randy was trying to be the new team captain of Team Hogan. We're not gonna go into it.
Let's not go down that road.
We're not gonna go into it. We're not gonna go into it.
Okay, so let's get back to the magic of the match. So the
magic of the
magical
match
thing,
was the ending.
The most magical thing. No, don't you forget, because me and Benji picked up on something that I know that Benji wasn't too happy about here. So the magical commentary table that just got absolutely destroyed in the last match came back together magically in this match only like 10 minutes later.
They rebuilt the damn announce table, man. I need the damn table to be destroyed. Keep my continuity.
You know what I would like if they're gonna go ahead and like rebuild the table? I want them to show it in like super fast motion and play that little song. You know, if they do that, I'd love it. But if you're not gonna show me that, you're not gonna give me GIF meme material. I don't.
True shit. Like you could have like, okay, so the match ends. You know, normally
the ending sequence was great. Like,
no, I'm talking about like the match before. Like, okay, if you're gonna rebuild the table, right? Mm-hmm. You know how normally they'll cut into like some backstage stuff or whatever, right?
They did do that.
You could have just had the camera stay on there as the commentators are talking, and we're seeing these people put back the table or something like that, just so we could see the amount of destruction that was left after that match.
Oh yeah, and then have like Cole and Corey Graves just sit there. I'm like, God, we're over here trying to get our shit back. After like this match.
Exactly.
So I get where you're talking. Okay, so that's a fair point, but. Let's get back into this match. It was a solid SmackDown Live quality level match. It wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't pay-per-view quality in terms of like it was like jaw dropping or anything.
Right.
What did drop my jaw? I couldn't even talk, man. It was so good of a spot. Was when Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I'm so like flabbergasted. Randy Orton went for the RKO, and then Mustafa Ali countered it by doing a handstand. That was amazing. And then Randy Orton was like slowly sitting up because he, in his mind, he hit the RKO, and then he gets like rolled up. It does like a cradle by Ali and almost catches Randy Orton for the win. That was like, man, had he won, that would have been the perfect way to win and beat Randy Orton. But given that he is the captain of Team Flair, he's going into the Saudi match. They're gonna keep his guy strong, which is why I predicted he was gonna win, and ultimately he ended up getting the win. But the one thing that I wanted to notice is, man, Ali really got beat up because he had like this bruise on the side of his like ribs, man. That shit was nasty.
Yeah, he was welting up pretty bad.
He really was, man. He really was. That was no bueno.
And speaking of no bueno, like it was very subtle, but you could see Randy Orton like giving this guy respect. Like, he gave him his props.
That he did the whole like, you know, like that whole like
very subtle, yeah.
So you know like how those old school like 90s like rap battles, like the guy like beats his chest, drops the mic and stuff. So Randy Orton did something like that. He like beat his chest and then like points it to Ali, like giving him props. You know, obviously, you know, Randy Orton is like character wise, you know, like the actual human might be a little like, you know, you might be able to like judge him like character wise, but you know, within kayfabe, that was great for Ali. You know, You know, like he was giving him props, and that's slowly what they're doing with Ali. They're kind of doing like that Jeff Hardy thing where he wrestled Undertaker in that ladder match on Raw, where even though in defeat, he earned the Undertaker's respect, and he's slowly earning everybody on the roster on SmackDown and Raw's respect, and he's going to be a high commodity come the draft next week on Friday.
Well, respect doesn't put wins under your belt. Let's be fair now. Like Ali is coming out there, like he just went out there and he got beaten by an agent.
Slow burn, man. Slow burn. He like if there's
slow burn, but he needs to pick up wins, and he's not.
He will.
He's going out and he's getting trashed.
See, but you're saying this about Ali, and the same could be said about the Kabuki Warriors, but they went ahead and walked away as a new SmackDown, the new WWE Women's Champions. They came out there and they're the new tag champs. And they kept taking loss after loss. They didn't get the job done before, but they walked away today as the new WWE Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, like you said, they were in a little bit of a slump, so they really had to
change things up, and which they did.
They had to change their mindset, change it into the Empress of Tomorrow, think outside the treasure chest, you know?
And here's the thing.
They changed the whole characters. They went heel. They went full heel.
Yeah, they wrestled the entire match heel. They were doing revival-esque, like, quick tags. Asuka was very, like, heelish. She was taunting Bliss and Cross a couple of times. She would just, like, just torture them for a bit and put them in, like, submissions. Like, a couple of times she put them in ankle locks and stuff like that.
Yo, she looked like the badass we know and love. Like
She looked like right? NXT Asuka, where she's just toying with everyone. She legit looked like she was toying, and then Kairi just kind of felt like that pure innocent soul that's being corrupted by the Venom symbiotes is being taken over. You know, poor Kairi saying she's like the Peter Parker in this situation, and Asuka is this Venom symbiote that's taking over her, and now they're like this unstoppable duo. Because man, like there's. I don't know. I can't praise this match enough because maybe I was just so excited that they finally got the titles and they're finally gonna do something with them. Hopefully it leads to like better things, man. Because like man, this tag team division, this women tag team division needs to be built up because they've like neglected it. I can't even talk to them, man.
No, but to what you said, like
I can't talk.
To what you said, like it was very like Spider-Man Venom-esque. Like it was maximum carnage, man. Shout out to Sega Genesis, you know what I mean? Especially once the finish of this match, you know, Kairi takes out Alexa Bliss on the side, so Nikki Cross in the middle, and then
no, actually that's Alexa Bliss that takes
the other. Yeah, they take each other out on the side, whatever. So Nikki Cross is a little bit distracted, and then Asuka comes out with the mist a la Great Muta and just sprays Nikki Cross, catching her off guard, man. Like
a lot of people would say to Jerry, but. Props to the OG, Great Muta.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
I mean, there was, dude, like, I mean, Colin, I mean, we've been rambling on it, and I've been, like, botching my entire lines here the entire time. Colin, what do you think? How did you feel about this match?
So I thought it was a good match. It was an okay match for me. I kind of slept on it a little bit. Again, it was mainly down to no build. Build for
so let me ask you a question. For you, watching wrestling, for you, it's important to have a build. You're more of a story guy. You need to have that.
Yeah, absolutely, Benji. Okay. Story is really key for me. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a good match.
No, the thing about
it was
wrestling,
a really good match. But for me, I need to have that story.
Yeah. Okay, ladies, one at a time.
I was just gonna say, like, the thing about wrestling, like. There's so many avenues, so many angles of it. So many people can like different things. Like some people can like, I just want a match. I don't need story. I just want the match. Other people, like Colin, they need the story. They need that build up to it. It's all good. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: they try to do a great, like both like the wrestlers and the commentary team try to like do a good job of like telling a story. Because commentary was making an emphasis of saying that they've come up short multiple times and they have to do something different. Mm-hmm. And there were things like Asuka acting a little bit more heelish, them having like quick tags, freaking like Asuka being way more aggressive. Like there was one point where she's just kicking Nikki Cross nonstop, like with her kicks, and then slowly just starts like toying with her again. It was just more of Asuka toying with her, and even Kairi Sane when like she was doing her little comeback sequence on Alexa Bliss, and then she runs up to Nikki Cross and pokes her in the eye. You know, little things like that.
She does her little pirate walk, right? Walking the plank right up to Nikki and then boop, right in the eye. And then
Man, like overall from top to bottom, like if you like you take the match out of context, like obviously you have to work extra hard as a fan to like make the story in your head because there was no build up leading into this match, and I felt like it felt like the win would have been more significant had they actually built up to it, and the story was actually there, and the story was there. It's just it wasn't consistently being told on a weekly basis. So
I think when you're talking about the titles, sorry,
I was just gonna say real quick to add to that point, like they were building up to that, but clearly like they didn't get enough time for that, and then this match, honestly, to me, it looks like we need another match. You four are backstage, get together, work it out, and give us something on up there because we need a match.
Yeah,
and I think they did the best they could in that ring. Commentary tried their best to build this up, tried to give somewhat semblance of a story, some stakes in this match. And then honestly, I think they did the absolute best job they could in like what was essentially like a last minute thrown together match.
Yeah. Honestly, like props to all four women in this match. They absolutely killed it. I know there's a lot of like Alexa Bliss haters. I'm not the biggest Alexa Bliss guy. I'm not gonna sit there. I'm like, oh my gosh, no Alexa Bliss match. But she can deliver on solid good spots, especially when she's in there with like three other amazing women. Like Nikki Cross is like one of the most underrated women in the entire WWE roster. Asuka has been like obviously one of the best wrestlers in NXT, SmackDown Live, and just hasn't been given the chance. But Kabuki Warriors as a whole, like I feel like this match did wonders for the Kabuki Warriors, especially if they're going to go heel. And I'm just saying. I think, like,
yeah, I think I know where you're going. Let me say, I think if they're going to go heel, they don't need Paige. They're a lot better off with Paige. Honestly, we don't even need Paige anywhere near them again.
No, I think Paige, like, paired up with the Kabuki Warriors was one of the things that kind of like killed their momentum because it wasn't about them. It's mostly about Paige doing most of the talking. And if you look back at the original initial feud when they came in, it was against Fire and Desire, and it was more of like Paige with their former teammates, and now she found these new tag team. It was about Paige, and honestly, and I know Colin and Sebastian probably feel differently, but you can cut really good heel promos in your native language. Just put some subtitles, or just like the crowd can pick up on the energy. Like AOP has been doing that on the last couple of weeks on both Raw and SmackDown, and some of the better hype promos I've seen in a good while. The Kabuki Warriors can do the same thing. Io Shirai down in NXT, she's been way better as a heel. She's felt more at home. I haven't seen heel Kyrie. I've seen glimpses of it in Lucha Underground. Man, just give me more. If they're just gonna sit there and just be like heel, like Japanese tag team that does green mist and like toys with their opponents and just dominates them, give me some of that. That tag match was great. Following that, we had another tag match. We had a 6-man tag, if I'm not mistaken. We had the OC taking on the team of the War Raiders and a mystery partner. I know Benji over here was thinking maybe Sheamus. I
wanted Celtic Sheamus coming back with the Viking Raiders. That would have been awesome.
I know people were saying Cedric. Some people were saying maybe Miz.
I got really annoyed at this. And sorry, I just need to get out of this stupid, like this whole match annoyed me. And it started at the top. Like you're teasing a mystery partner of Viking Raiders and a mystery guest against the OC, and this mystery guest, in my opinion, and I was saying it all day to you guys in our group chat, like this needs to be either someone returning or it needs to be someone new to put them onto that platform and then to feud with AJ. No, we didn't get either of that. We got Braun Strowman. Damn squib, absolute damn. Yeah, like no one's popping for Braun Strowman here. To me personally, I'm over Strowman, especially after the stuff that happened on SmackDown. That's exactly where this match went to. Like I saw Braun Strowman, I didn't care about this match once I saw Braun Strowman. I really didn't care.
Tell us how you really feel about this, man.
Colin, I'm 1000% with you, man. The minute Braun Strowman came out, I checked the fuck out. I even put in the group chat piss break. I legit got up, took a piss break, went to go heat up my pizza. I brought out my salsa and chips. I really made myself nice and comfy for the next segment. Because this match was the typical Braun Strowman comes in. He does his Braun stuff. Rawr, Braun Strowman wins.
Yo, he did that stupid ass running tackle spot twice in this match. Once inside the ring, I think, and then once outside of it.
He literally, when he got tagged in, it was just like shoulder tackle, shoulder tackle, shoulder tackle. It's just kind of like when you get like a new Pokemon and you catch it and it only has one move and the shoulder tackle. That's basically what Braun Strowman is at this point. And then I feel like mid match he leveled up and learned like Big Show's knockout punch, because AJ Styles is gonna go for the phenomenal forearm. It just knocks him out. Obviously, that's just basically because he's doing his whole thing with the boxer fella. I don't know his name, Colin. I don't care to know his name. I don't really give a fuck. I don't care. I'm not a boxing fan. I'm a wrestling fan, damn it. I want to see some wrestling. And if they're going to build up him versus tall Sami Zayn boxer fella champion over there, I don't really care. I don't know who this guy is. I don't care about Braun Strowman. I'm so glad I have to work tomorrow because I have to see that whole shit.
You don't care. Right, you don't care, Vince. Oh, let me wrap this up then.
Let's just go to the next segment. I'm off.
I can't because the one good thing about this match, the one good thing was after the match. After AJ gets knocked out. I don't know how you guys felt, but I lost my shit here. I was in hysterics laugh. AJ Styles is an absolute comedy genius.
Dude, he sold that knockout punch like a drunk Mexican uncle on a Saturday night. That's how he sold it. He looked like one of my tios, like, what? No, yo estoy bien. I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. No, leave me alone. And at one point it's like, wait, did we win? And then the OC is trying to explain to him that no, bitch,
like, no, you got knocked out, bitch.
Okay.
But then AJ saying that he's fine, he's falling over the ropes trying to get out.
That was the best part of the match.
Telling AJ it's Sunday in Sacramento, and he's like, no, it's fine. But the best spot of all, to get to the top of the ramp, AJ turns around to face the crowd, goes to lift that belt over his head, and just starts to fall backwards. That was out through the curtain. Then. But
that's honestly the only good thing about that whole segment.
It was the best part about that whole segment. The whole segment was to try to get that punch over, to show that Braun can punch, which was stupid. None of us cared about that. But
it was just
AJ saved the day with his bit of comedy goal at the end. And that's how good AJ is.
It looked like he was drinking after that. Like he just got fucked up, and he just got hammered. Like he looked like he was drinking. But someone that's always drinking something in that cup of his is Montez Ford, because following that we had a Street Profits promo. They were hyping up the draft, and Benji, you made a fair analogy.
At this point, the Street Profits, and I hate to say it, they've become the damn narrators in the Disney's Hercules movie, man.
Hell yeah, they have.
That's all dancing. They're doing, man. Like they need to have a match, because and this is just my opinion. I represent myself. To me, if they don't start having a match, this is getting a little problematic.
Here's the thing. Would you guys say that there's main roster Street Profits and then there's NXT Street Profits? Because when they're in NXT,
night and day.
Yeah, I'm so invested in them when they're in NXT. But when they're on main roster, they are, yes, like you said, they're like the Hercules narrators. A lot of people have been saying they're like the narrators from the Muppets. The two old guys from the Muppets.
Right.
Exactly. So
it's starting to look bad. Like you're just having them just basically telling jokes and dancing, man. Like you need to have them be competitors, you know what I mean? Not just entertainers.
Here's the thing. There's a match taking place in front of them, and they're still not technically in a damn match. Tamina came out, our Truth came out with Carmella. Tamina comes out of nowhere and just rolls up Carmella and becomes 24/7 champ right in front of them. Even other people are having matches in front of them, and they aren't. Let's just
and then you had Tyler Breeze come out and get knocked out some reason.
Put some respect on my boy Tyler Breeze.
Yo,
come on, man! I did not dress up as the fashion police for a Backlash back in the day just to be treated like this. He deserves better. I deserve better. My boy Tapia that cosplays as Tyler Breeze all the time. They deserve better. We all deserve better. God damn. Someone that probably deserved better, it was Chad Gable, because he was taking on Baron Corbin, man. And
I gotta say, this, to me, there's a lot of corny shit, but this was the most corniest shit I've ever seen.
Jokes were
like dad jokes.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
Well, his new name that he's been dubbed by Baron Corbin is Shorty Gable.
Oh, don't say it,
dude.
We know that.
Okay.
Well,
Corbin's the king. Not to skip too much, but the comment, the announcer said your winner, Shorty Gable, and then later after the
Terrible.
match,
Terrible.
But that's because the king decreed that he was Shorty Gable. He has to call him Shorty Gable, otherwise he feels the king's wrath.
like I have 3 bullet
This
points.
is how this shit works.
If it's okay with you guys, I just want to like roll through this match in like within like the next minute.
Please.
Okay, so 3 bullet points. 3 bullet points that I want to hit that I've noticed that I really liked was that the STD chant kind of stuck. So that's a thing that's gonna stay.
Unfortunately,
it's cringe. God.
Well, Corbin kind of forced it a bit at the start, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like he had to get on the mic, and
He's
he
like,
had to
I'm
kind
a
of
super cool dude. Like,
yeah. So he had to kind of I don't know what word am I looking for. You had to kind of get them wound up a bit for them to throw the STD chance. They didn't do it naturally.
no.
But yeah, they did get there eventually. But yeah, go on ahead.
And then after that, the one spot that I really liked from Chad Gable, he went to the moonsault. Baron Corbin kicked out, and then it seamlessly transitioned to an ankle lock. God, if anyone was supposed to be Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, it should have been Gable.
Yes.
He's so smooth. He wrestles just like Angle. He has like the same moveset as him. And if you just shaved him bald, he looked just like him. And then like
that was probably the kicker, shaving him bald. He had some nice flowing locks at the time.
You could always do like a storyline with Edge and then have Edge shave him bald like on the top of the stage. But like the ending of this match was Baron Corbin went for a chokeslam on the apron. Like I swear, like the minute I said that it was the hardest part of the ring, everybody started doing stuff on there. Like it's coincidence, guys. It's almost eerie.
Is that a thing? I didn't even know that.
Nah, I didn't know it was a thing until like I swear I pointed at, like we started pointing it out on the podcast, and then people started doing it. And then after that, after the chokeslam on the apron, he goes to get his like King Scepter, tries to go and attack Gable once he's inside the ring. He ducks it. The ref grabs the scepter, and he's like, "No, you're not gonna use it." You know, and then like as he turns around, he gets rolled up by Chad Gable. 1, 2, 3. Like
the most devastating move in sports entertainment right now, by the way.
Oh,
the roll up.
Here's the thing. So shout out to one of the podcasts I listen to, Going in Raw. You should check them out too, but you should also check out this podcast first and then listen to them. But they have an in joke saying that like Baron Corbin's weakness is a roll up. He lost his Money in the Bank match in a roll up. A lot of his matches he loses is because of roll up. Like you just go in there as to start a match in the roll up, you're probably gonna beat Baron Corbin. Like I'm surprised nobody did that during the King of the Ring tournament. He wouldn't have been king if they just rolled him up. But yeah,
true.
That's besides the point. That was the end of the match. Obviously, like later on in the show, like I'll just cover it now and put it all together. He was being interviewed by I think Charlie Caruso or Caleb Braxton, and she like, "Hey, Shorty Gable," you know, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then Chad is like, "Oh no, that's fine. You can call me Shorty if you want. I don't care. I just want yada yada yada." Baron Corbin comes in and just beats the shit out of him. So it looks like we're not done with this feud. It's probably going to continue over on Raw or SmackDown this week. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they're having some good matches, like, but I'm kind of over it now. I'd like to see the two of them kind of move on and go into other feuds.
Let's move on ourselves to the next match, which was Charlotte versus Bayley. And before this match could take place and get started, we had Tamina being chased around by R-Truth, like in like the crowd area, and who was to show up? Tamina started using Funaki as a shield of all people, and I'm over here like, yo, what the fuck, Funaki? That's my
indeed
throwback. I'm pretty sure if you take off his stupid shirt, he's got a SmackDown shirt underneath that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Probably. Maybe he's gonna get drafted to SmackDown in the draft on Friday. We don't know. But obviously, he was no help to Tamina here because Carmella came out, distracted Tamina again, and then roll up 1, 2, 3. R-Truth became champion, and commentary said that that's like his 20th reign. That's just crazy. Like, and
the most successful 48/7 European champion of all time. R-Truth.
Yeah, and then did you guys catch how Corey at when they try to go back into the women's championship match, he sneaks in the lines talking about like, hopefully now I can go to sleep at night. Something.
Wow.
Because he's been consummating so much.
Yeah, he's been consummating so much, I guess. I don't know, but let's get into this Bayley Charlotte match. It was a pretty good match, guys. What you think?
Colin, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, we thought it was a very good match. Again, like as I've been saying over the last month or so, since we've kind of been getting them. Any matches that have involved any of the four horsewomen
Yes.
have been phenomenal. They haven't
Hmm.
disappointed at all. And this wasn't different at all. Um, I think in this match we got to see a bit more of the heel Bailey, and I think
Yeah.
this is where we're getting the heel Bailey without going into results yet. Yeah, heel Bailey started to come out really strong, and I think off the back of that, that's what we're going to get. But again, these two women just had a fire lit underneath them in this match. They went out, they gave us everything in that ring, as they always do, and left everything out there. To be honest with these two, they're phenomenal as well as Sasha and Becky, and they continue to um to just go above and beyond the rest of the women's division. And to be honest, they're putting the rest of the women to shame. But yeah, these two
I
knocked it out of
mean,
the park here again.
like you were saying, Bailey went ahead and just did way more heel tactics. Like it was like she was way more aggressive than normal Bailey. There were like dumps, like pokes to the eyes again. Like that was like a theme tonight. Like I guess protect your eyes, guys, because tonight at Hell in a Cell everybody was getting their eye injured. At one point, I think she like injures Charlotte's knee in the ring post or something because then which is great. Bailey tries to put Charlotte in the figure four and even does like a woo. That like little things like that, you slowly start see Bailey get more and more heelish. Obviously, like later down the line, the commentator was saying that you can't really try to like play those type of games. You can't really play dirty with Charlotte because if anybody can heal up with the best of them, it's Charlotte. And at one point, Charlotte turns it around on Bailey and uses the ring post to injure her leg. And now like they're both like almost on even playing field, like leg for a leg, stuff like that.
No, yeah, like I think that the four horsewomen obviously can do have amazing matches, but the specific pairing of Becky versus Sasha and Bailey versus Charlotte, for whatever reason, they just have a lot of chemistry against each other. And as you guys said, like they came out here with a fire under them, man. Like and within the match, you slowly start to see this Bailey just become more and more
Did you
heel, just
guys
become more.
did you guys pick up on like at one point it was right after like Charlotte tries to go for the natural selection. Bailey like gets her hand on the rope, kicks out, and then she goes for the moonsault after that, I believe. And then that's when Bailey gets the knees up, and like that's when Charlotte gets like rocked a bit, and she's like on the side of the apron. Bailey very like heelish and like just like a bitch move, just like kicks Charlotte off to the apron, and then she's about to like get out of the ring, and then the refs like, what the fuck did the ref say? I wrote it down here. It's like he yells at Bailey, and was like, "Hey, get in the ring!" And then the Bailey just goes to the ref and looks at him so annoyed and like, "Shut up." Like, did you guys catch that? Like, she looked
I
back.
didn't.
She looked back in the ref and she's like, "Shut up." And like I'm over here like, yes, Bailey, tell him, like, go ahead, do your thing, sis. But obviously that didn't work out because like I was saying, that's around the time where Charlotte like attacked Bailey's knee and stuff like that. And
Did either of you guys notice where Charlotte got the cuff from? I
no,
didn't see
no,
whereabouts it
I
happened,
didn't.
but
No,
there
I didn't
was a
see
bit of
it.
blood. I think it was coming from her mouth. It was on her hands and stuff at the end of
Maybe
the match, but I
maybe the
don't actually know where it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look into it. But like towards the end of the match, like the way it ended was really really cool because it was Charlotte that was going for like a big boot, and like Bailey kind of like grabs her legs, pushes her towards the rope, tries to do a roll up and put her feet on the rope, but she gets caught up by the ref, and then the ref's like, no, 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 like it don't count or whatever, right? And then like it ended up costing Bailey because from there Charlotte was able to capitalize and ended up putting Bailey in the figure eight. And man, like Bailey, like it took her a minute. Like I kind of wish she had like held on a little bit longer, but she ended up tapping to the figure eight, and Charlotte becomes a 10-time women's champion.
Yeah,
And
Bailey really told that story with her eyes. Like you could see the camera's
she
focused
was
on Bailey when she's in
devastated.
that figure. You could see it in her, even before she tapped. You could see it in her eyes that she was like, "Oh no, not again." Like,
Oh,
I'm here
did you?
again. I'm in this position again, and I'm gonna have to tap
Did you
out.
like what? Like after the match, you know, like I wrote it down that she like really threw like a fit. She was throwing a tantrum, and she
She
like had
throws
like
a proper tantrum.
she
Yeah.
had like a mental breakdown at the end. Like the camera zooms in on her, and I heard her say like, "Why does this always happen to me? Why does this always happen?" and stuff like that. And when Charlotte was starting to walk up the ramp, she said something to Charlotte. She was saying kind of like a whiny, complaining kid saying like, "No, no, come back here. Let's wrestle again." Kind of like when you beat your friend in a video game, and they're so pissed off that you beat them, they're like, "Run that back." Like, no, no rematch and stuff. That's exactly what Bailey came out like, and she was like breaking down like mentally. Like I've never seen this side of Bailey, and man, I don't know if they're gonna develop her character on Raw or they're gonna do it on SmackDown, or they're gonna wait till after the draft. I don't know if they left this open so that hold up
So
here.
interesting thing to note. If you watch the ending of the Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch match, Sasha also had a similar breakdown at the end of it.
Yeah,
The camera's focused on that, and now we have Bailey also going through that same thing. So it's kind of interesting to see where this is going to lead.
Well,
wow.
my prediction is that these two girls are probably gonna go and be on the same show with a champion, whoever that may be, whether it be Charlotte or Becky. And I think I predicted that these two were gonna have the championship belts going into Survivor Series, and they were gonna start that feud. But obviously,
They can still
they're
do
gonna
that.
have to
They
get.
can still do
They're
that.
obviously gonna, yeah, but they're gonna. I think they're gonna have to get to the feud a different way. And how
Here,
I think they're gonna get to
here's the
that feud
thing.
is these two
Uh,
girls are gonna be put into a number one contender match, and they're gonna have
we
to
still
fight it
have
for the
time
rest.
before Survivor Series, right? So we still have time for that. And the one thing that gives me hope that like both of these girls might get the title or neither of them might get like, so unfortunately we have Crown Jewel on Halloween at the end of the month. There's not going to be a singles women match on there, which means that either on Fox on Friday Night SmackDown or on Raw or whatever, that's where like they get their win and then it leads into Survivor Series. Because man, I don't want to see Charlotte Becky again. I was really looking forward to Bailey versus Sasha, but
True.
so my whole thing is that so the story that's going to be told, and maybe it might be told better, is that in the draft they get separated, and that devastates them even more because Bailey had like a breakdown, Sasha had a breakdown, and the one thing that's holding it together is that their best friend is right there to support one another, and with the brand split being like with there actually being a brand split and no wild card rule anymore, they can't go on the other person's show, so they will feel
Ooh,
like they're all by themselves, and maybe that helps them reach that next level. Very,
that breaking point.
that
Yeah.
breaking point. Like if you watch Dragon Ball Super and you watch that Tournament of Power, you know that if you reach your
Ooh.
breaking point, they might unlock Ultra Instinct out of this, guys, and it might become like the most dominant
Yo, Ultra
women's.
Instinct Becky?
No,
Ultra Instinct Bailey, I mean?
yeah,
Yo.
Ultra Instinct Bailey. Oof, oof. Hey, you never know. You never know. It might be a thing. You know, without getting into geeky territory and shit.
I
But
have no idea what you two guys are talking about right now. Like, I don't like the fucking like what are you talking about? Like Lord of the Rings, playing card games or something like.
okay,
Oh,
we've
guys, Dungeons and Dragons was 80s and 90s. Let's move on here.
okay. Okay, so one thing that I noticed, like mid whole thing, I was so wrapped up in the conversation. I was over here trying to do slideshows and shit, and I completely fucked it up. And I left it at the OC one. I completely brushed over the Cable one. But we're back with the Charlotte thing, right? So that was the second to last match. Before that, did anything happen after the match, or did you just go straight into the main event?
No, so we went straight into the main event from there, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, I think so. It was a little, a little break to show the crowd, I think, a little bit, and then they cut, Seth Rollins' entrance right away.
It was
Okay.
actually it was a very good pre-match promo. I really, really liked it. It was one of the better ones that I've seen
Oh
in a
yeah,
long
the
while.
the firefight, the Funhouse promo. Yeah, forgot
Yeah,
about that.
it was a good. It showed a good recap of the run up to where this has been going to.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think obviously it breaks down. It showed a good breakdown of Bray Wyatt and the Fiend the whole way through, and how we get to where we are
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
It's
if
yeah,
anything, it
great 5 seconds.
highlighted our whole potential for this match, and everybody is really excited for this match.
Okay, so how about instead of covering the match, let's just Colin, because you were livid, guy. You just want to.
Yeah, just Colin. You know what? We
Tell us how
started
you
this
really feel.
podcast. It's time. It's time for you to let it out.
Okay, so we're not covering the match.
Okay,
Fuck that. Just go
so
right into it.
let's just point out the fact that the cell was red. The Fiend's entrance was cool.
The cell was red. The
The,
fucking
there was a
lights
red
were
lighting.
red
Okay,
for
okay.
whatever reason.
Before we get into your
Let's
rant,
paint the mood. Let's paint the mood.
before we get into so one thing that I noticed was the red lighting. I didn't notice it at first. I thought it was just during the Fiend's entrance, but then it stayed throughout the entire match. At first, it bugged me, but the more it went on, the more I kind of liked it. Me and my friend, we were making a reference like, "Oh, I kind of see what they're doing here." You know, it's the Fiend, and he was saying, the Bray was saying, "I'll see you in hell." They're kind of painting like the visual imagery of them being literally in hell for Seth Rollins, and it kind of worked because for me it kind of worked because it made the Fiend look way more creepier. It kind of felt like very Nightmare on Elm Street s,
But why should the Fiend get that advantage?
because he has magical like production magic,
Okay, so Bray Wyatt's magic. Okay,
no
so
he,
I'm just glad that
so
that one up.
he has production skills. He knows a guy that knows a guy that knows another guy in the production truck that knows how to turn the light red. So but yeah, other than that, there was just so many cool spots. Obviously, like from the get go, we knew that the Fiend was probably gonna no sell a lot of Seth's offense because he went for a kendo stick to start shit off, and just the Fiend was no selling it. At one point, like I counted it, he had like 11 to 12 curb stomps. He had a pedigree in there. He had like like concertos. Like it was just pure mayhem. Like the Fiend got his offense in too. Don't get me wrong. And like at one point, like I thought he had the win, but like Seth Rollins kicked out of Sister Abigail too, which pissed me off, to be honest with you. But you're more pissed off than me, obviously, Colin. So why don't you go ahead and just... We're not going to talk about the match. The match is what it is. It was a very fun match, except for the ending. But go ahead.
Okay, so this is where I get hot because like the whole build was about Bray no selling everything, and he did no sell everything, and that annoyed me as well because like let's face it, like the Fiend is just Bray Wyatt in a mask. It is not something special that we haven't seen before.
No. Do not get rid of the mystique of the Fiend. Even though
I'm not trying to get rid of the mystique, but
getting rid of the mystique tonight. But come on, Colin, he's way more than just a guy in a mask. He's the Fiend.
Yeah, he's the Fiend, but I still think that by no selling and one kicking out after like 4 curb stomps, that maybe like that's a bit overkill. And I think you can have overkill, especially when it comes to the likes of this.
It was
like,
very comedic, I guess, where you're going with.
It was too much. I can understand them doing it. I can understand them doing it once, but to do it after a pedigree, a curb stomp, 1 count, 3 more curb stomps, and then a 2 count. I think they got like that's match over. Like no matter who you are, like whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask, like you're not invincible just because you have a mask on you. And this is what I don't get. Like I'm a big Seth Rollins fan, and the thing is that the lengths that Rollins had to go to, and that's what this whole match was built around, was what Rollins had to do. So Rollins got very inventive in this, and he actually got a chair. He stood directly over Bray. And when I was saying before about the chair shot to the head, this was the second one of the night.
That was great. That was exactly what the Becky Sasha spot should have been. But the camera angle helped so much, and the placement of where Seth did it on Bray was amazing because he probably didn't hit him. He probably just hit the mat, but the camera
hit the match.
Yeah, from like the camera angle and the angle that Seth decided to chose to do it. It worked and it helped because it really created that illusion that he was just smashing the Fiend's head in, and he did that a lot. Like you were saying, he did that. He tried to do a concerto with that. He used a ladder concerto. He did like a toolbox concerto where he put like the ladder, the chair, and then he just grabbed like the toolbox and just started hitting it. And here's the thing: at one point, like the ref does this whole thing where it's like towards the end, like the finish of the match, it's like, Seth, don't do this. This isn't you. This is not who you are. And all this other stuff.
Well, the ref knows that like if Rollins gets the sledgehammer after using the toolbox on the ladder onto the chair onto Bray's face.
He
wasn't
goes
enough. He then goes out and gets the sledgehammer,
sledgehammer, yes,
and
which
that's when
we've
we have the ref.
established. We've established in the power levels of weapons. Sledgehammer is stronger than mallet because Sledgehammer has buried careers by by Triple H. He's buried careers using that Sledgehammer, and the only thing that mallet has done is kill Rambling Rabbit, and he keeps coming back for more. Like I was saying off air, he either has Dragon Balls somewhere, or Shenron's his best friend, or he has got like 20,000 lives or something.
Got a sense of being ass.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, power level wise, the Sledgehammer was way more effective weapon, and they treated it as such because the ref was like, no, you can't, like, you've done all this crazy shit, like, he's probably dead, but if you do the Sledgehammer, oh my gosh, that would cross the line.
Yo, that ref was acting his ass off.
Oh, yeah, man. He took some acting classes tonight.
Well, context to this as well. The Fiend is probably lying on the ground now at this stage for about 5. He's lying there for about 5 minutes and he hasn't moved. And Seth has literally just hit him with everything. He's hit him with chairs, ladders, toolboxes onto ladders, onto chairs, onto everything, into the head. Absolutely everything. And then it was like Seth gets the sledgehammer and he wants to finish him off. And the ref is like, no, it's too far. It's not who you are. You have to think about what you're doing, Seth. And this is the lens that Seth needs to go to. And this is what I mean about storytelling. This is storytelling. You can see this. This is the psychology of the match and in the match. And this is what Seth needs to do to beat this demon who's been haunting him for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And Seth picks up the sledgehammer and brings it right down onto the ladder, which is placed on the Fiend's head. And that's it. The ref has seen enough. That's too much. And he said, yeah, that's enough. That's match over. And bearing in mind that the Fiend hadn't moved for 20 minutes. Now, we don't get, on the show, we don't get an official announcement of a result. What we do hear is the medics, when Rollins goes over to him, we hear the medics going, no, he's hurt.
Oh, and then dude, that shit like pissed me off. The fucking like they brought out like a stretcher and like the medics were coming out for the Fiend. Really? Like
they thought he was dead.
Yeah, I mean,
like he hadn't moved in like 5-6 minutes, and he's after being hit with everything.
Okay,
you know what? I think
the one thing I will say about this is that some people will like say that ruined the mystique of the Fiend or whatever. But like people need to remember that back in the day, during the Attitude Era, or back in the day when Undertaker started, he was being like attended by medical people then too. So it's not gonna kill the Fiend in terms of that. I think what they did tonight is effectively kill and like gut the entire arena with that finish, because I said this going in, if this ends in a no DQ or no contest just like last year's Hell in a Cell match, it would just like suck the life out of the arena, and a lot of people were chanting AEW, we want refunds, a bunch of other nonsense.
Well, this is where people are calling it, and this is what we've seen online. We've seen people calling it a no contest. Now, recently, as Benji has just informed me in the chat here, that WWE has officially ruled this as a match stoppage. So, in my eyes, that would be similar to someone getting a submission in on someone else and them passing out. The person holding the submission still wins the match. So, for me, Seth Rollins beat the Fiend so badly, the referee had to stop the match and awarded Rollins the victory in my eyes.
And I hate that because like the last time that I remember a stoppage in a match like that was Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn in Takeover, where like Kevin Owens just kept power bombing like Sami Zayn, power bomb like onto the apron in the ring. Mm-hmm. Eventually, the rep called a stoppage, and who won? Kevin Owens, because he was the victor there. Like Sami Zayn could not continue anymore, and unfortunately, yeah, they gave the win to Seth. That way he didn't have to drop the title, but you don't put yourself in a situation like this if you're not ready to put the title on the Fiend. Like, it's another classic case of, like, Bray Wyatt getting so close. It's like the damn State Farm commercial where the old guy has like the fishing rod and stuff. It's like,
gotta be quick.
Gotta be quicker than that. I feel like that's the story of Bray Wyatt's career, and I'm over it. Yes, they kind of salvaged it, and it was a really cool sequence afterwards where like Seth Rollins like no. He pushes the medics away. He gets close to the Fiend, and he gets his like the mandible claw right in his throat and shit. Then he takes him to the outside.
To me, that ending, it reminded me of the Jim Carrey's The Mask. You know, like you could do all this stuff to him, whatever, and he's still gonna get up and do all this stuff. And to me, if you were gonna bring out medics, if you want to just get creative, I would have loved the camera would have panned to the medics coming through the entrance, whatever, and instead of the medics, it would have been the damn puppets or some shit.
Stop it. You're living in a fantasy world. But yeah, so like going back, like yeah, the finish was shit. They, like I said, Sister Abigail on the outside. He rips off the padding. He does a Sister Abigail on the exposed concrete floor. Then he does a mandible claw one more time. They do the fiend light flickering thingy again. And then from there, if I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but they were showing that Seth Rollins had blood coming out of his throat, out of his mouth because of the mandible claw. Did you guys catch that?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't notice
he was bleeding like
Yeah,
a stuck pig, man.
I probably didn't notice it because of the red lighting.
No. At
The
that point,
stupid red lighting.
at that point, the red lighting was gone. Remember, so the red lighting was gone. It was after he exposed the padding, and he hit Sister Abigail with on the concrete. He did that. Then the light, like when he attacks people normally, and the lights flicker on and off. It was during that, so it was that kind of lighting, and he had the mandible claw. And then when they zoomed into Seth's face, you can tell that he had the mandible claw, but he was also bleeding from his mouth. Then the lights go off. The Fiend's at the top of the stage. Lights go off again. They do the little signature at the bottom, the signature Bray Wyatt laugh, and then we go straight into the Goldberg 24/7. And I'm over here like, what? I'm over here like, that's it.
Well, I think that ending actually. Do you not think that it made the Fiend look that bit stronger then?
So it made the Fiend look strong in the sense that he can take all that shit and then still come back for more.
That's exactly what I'm getting at, because any other person in that ring who takes that type of beating, they're not walking out. Never mind attacking their opponent again.
Yeah.
They're going out on that stretcher. They're going out on that stretcher and they're going into that ambulance.
I mean, Dominic couldn't even take a beating from Brock Lesnar, So.
Well,
exactly.
My thing about this is that if we we are now establishing that the Fiend is this powerful, he can take this much hits.
Yep.
So whoever he faces next, like if we
Dafuq.
see he could take all this, then what is that next person going to have to do? I think to me it's the same problem that they had with Strowman in the beginning. Pretty much, you make this and Lesnar too to an extent. You make them so overpowered that now each match, there's no realistic way that whoever he's going to face, and like, there's no way that they're going to win. If this guy could take a sledgehammer to the head, he's fine. He took all this. Like, how does that engage someone in matches to come further on, knowing that this guy is damn near unstoppable? He's damn near like Jason or Michael Myers or some shit.
But I think that's the whole point of the storyline. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go to the lengths that Rollins went to. They're gonna have to go to that extreme and go past that person that they truly are, and take it to that extra extent.
So I think for that to work, if you want that to work, then we can't see the Fiend very often. Like, it has to be like maybe every WrestleMania or something like that. That whoever faces him has to reach those lengths.
Match-wise, he can't have every match every. Because here's the problem they were running into. They just put the title on Brock Lesnar, and it's probably clear that they're gonna do champion versus champion again. And they weren't gonna put Fiend versus Brock. And if you put two Goliaths in the match like that, that's like putting Darkseid versus Thanos and shit. Someone has to lose, but nobody wants to lose in that situation.
Right.
It's so okay. So the one thing here is that was pretty cool that he could get up from all that. The inner child in me kind of popped out. I wrote down great match, terrible finish, and that's exactly how I felt. After the match officially ended, the sequence, with the blood, coming from the mouth. Let's say in the hypothetical world, the Bray Wyatt had won, and then he still does what he does to Seth to close out the match. That would have been even better. That would have done wonders for the Fiend. But Benji's 1000% correct. Where do you go from here? There's no realistic way that you can beat the Fiend now. You're gonna have to throw a truck at the guy at this point to probably win, and maybe even that won't do something. So it's suspension of disbelief. We'll see where things are going. I'm very pessimistic, but I'm also optimistic. I'm very conflicted within, guys. I don't know how to feel about this entire show.
Mixed emotions, man. It's
okay.
It's a hodgepodge of mixed emotions.
We'll see what happens on Raw and SmackDown. I mean,
so just one more point that I kind of want to get in as well. I believe that WWE, they're not stupid. And the thing that we know about WWE, and we know from the past, probably going back to the mid-90s, maybe even before that, WWE always have a plan for where they're kind of going WrestleMania to WrestleMania, and they know what kind of stories they're going to get to. I firmly believe that this storyline isn't over between Rollins and Bray Wyatt. I think that it's going to go a bit further. I think Bray Wyatt probably does get the belt, and they know where it's going to go to. And I think they have an idea of where they're going to get to and how they're going to maybe take the belt off him eventually.
The only way I could have like realistically see him losing the title is had like because his original victim was Finn Balor, and then I was gonna say like this time Finn gets a rematch, but it's Demon versus Finn versus the Fiend, and like power level wise, it might be the same thing. So kayfabe wise, the Demon might be just as strong, if not as strong as the Fiend, so it might have been like an even playing field, and that would have been just enough to like get the title off of the Fiend, and then obviously Finn can drop the title as Man Battler, and he doesn't have to go Demon, and that's how you get the title and transition to someone else. But they're in the pickle right now. I don't know what they're gonna do.
You could also have a previous like old style stipulation that they could bring back, the likes of a, let's say, a buried alive match or something.
Yeah,
Just because the Fiend, yes, he's probably invincible, but it doesn't mean that we can't get him into a hole and
but in
fill it
this
up with
PG
fill
era,
it up
can
with
you
a bit
even
of
get away
cement.
with a buried alive match? You can't do that in this PG era.
I'm not sure how they could kind of go about. That's just me spitballing that they could go down that kind of route of a match, or
Yeah.
a type of match maybe that you can
You just
isolate or incapacitate him, the likes of a ladder match or something where you can kind of incapacitate him somewhere and then climb a ladder. You're not technically beating him, you're grabbing the belt from the top of a ladder. So different things like that, or a multi-man match as well, kind of to take it off him. But as I said, I don't think WWE are stupid. They've been doing this long enough. I know that this. I don't think they'd have gone into this storyline with their eyes closed
Yeah.
and kind of booked it on the fly. I firmly believe that they do have a long term plan, and for us as fans, especially a lot of people tonight, they're getting pissed off with the ending of that show, not knowing where this is going to go in a year or 18 months' time. And
Yeah.
when we get there and we look back, this will probably make a lot of sense. But as
it,
of now, it probably doesn't.
that's a very valid and fair point. I just think that if I'm paying and that's my finish of a pay per view that I paid and I'm watching live, that's not a very satisfying ending. I think for a live audience,
No.
sure it might pay down the road, but in the context of now, here and now, it's a very disappointing finish.
Yeah,
And it might pay off eventually, but it's not something. It's for example, it's something we've seen the last Hell in a Cell, and these type of match stoppage or non finishes or whatever,
hate it.
where you don't get a clear result. Like that's something that happens on Raw or something. You don't want that
But I
closing out
think
your pay per view.
I also think I understand exactly what you're saying, Benji, and I do agree. But I think from a fan perspective as well, that can be very greedy, because you do have to take these bad type finishes, or finishes that we're not entirely happy with, to get to the end goal. And
Yeah.
you're going to get these from time to time, and you're going to have fans that aren't going to be happy leaving an arena. You have to have them every now and again. You can't always go home happy. And as I said, I completely understand what you're saying. I understand that as a paying customer going to this pay per view, you probably are unhappy going home. But in the long term goal, it's going to make sense, and you have to build good story and to build that long term goal. You have to have this.
But you have a lot more faith in WWE than I do, and I commend you for that.
I mean, your faith should be misplaced. I mean, I feel like it really is misplaced, Colin, because you had a lot of faith going into this pay per view that you'd stay the Smack Raw Predictions champion, but yours truly is the new Smack Raw Predictions champion. As you can see on the graph, obviously this is pre Benji telling us that it was a no contest and Seth technically won. Numbers wise, it still adds up. Sebastian took the L tonight. He only got 2 matches right.
Damn,
Technically,
Seth, damn.
technically, he gets 1 right if Seth is declared the winner. Other other than that, shoot, man, I still walk away el campeón. I am the new Smack Raw Predictions champion. This is why Colin came in. He was way more upset than he normally was. He was upset about the finish, but he was so upset. Like halfway through the show, he's like, you know, it's the man that makes the championship. You know, it's not the other way around. But no,
well, that as I said, congratulations, Vince. I would like to say, first and foremost, congratulations on your predictions this week.
I appreciate it.
Well deserved. I really applaud you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy that I didn't lose and I don't have to take the big L on this.
Okay.
But as I said before you have your moment, I'd like to just make a little closing speech.
Would you like to say goodbye to Goldie?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but as I said, I think the work that I've put in over this last month as the champ and with this title, I think I've made it more prestigious, especially in our group. And I think everybody, and you can see that.
I think you're the only one that cared about the title until like you brought this up again.
Why did everybody want to win it tonight then?
No,
because I made it that way.
No,
that was me.
Nobody was trying to win.
I made it prestigious.
Okay.
I'm the Miz with the IC title.
Your champ is speaking.
I elevated that title.
No. I let you have a whole 1 minute soliloquy during our predictions episode. When the champ's hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Okay. You have been defeated. You have been squashed. You have been victimized. You have been brutalized. You have been conquered, my friend. See, what many don't know is that you actually came very, very close to losing to me. I was only like a match or two off, so I was there. I was right behind you. Just like Vegeta and Dragon Ball Z, I was right behind you. But unlike Vegeta, I'm able to rise above and defeat my nemesis, which was you, Mr. Colin. I applaud you for being a great rival. Every great champion, every great man needs that one guy, that one secondary B+ player to push him to the next level and rise above.
Said B+.
Okay, but yeah, in terms of context, I just wanted to beat you because you had that whole like soliloquy in like the predictions, and I just want to like get you off your high horse, and I'm just giving you a little bit of taste of your medicine. I think mostly everyone just didn't want to lose because we've established. So going forward, you know, for the Smack Raw podcast viewers, we will be issuing punishments for the losers. So, which, if you can see on the graph, Sebastian came up short. He is taking that punishment. The champion is gonna decide that punishment at a future dates. We don't know. We will see what the champ decides.
Damn.
We won't know. I'll keep you guys up to date. I'll keep you guys posted. See what we do. You know, but I think that's a great way to end the show. Unless you know, Colin wants to like throw another temper tantrum like Bailey after she lost the championship. You know, that was an omen right there. You know, like I saw Bailey like throwing a tantrum and like just being over the like in disbelief that she's no longer champion, like doing the whole why does this always happen to me? And I didn't see Bailey. I saw you, Colin.
You know, I gotta be honest.
I saw you in a side ponytail and a headband. And I just saw a former champion, defeated, victimized, brutalized, and just a shell of his former self.
I hope you keep this same energy when you lose next time.
Okay,
ooh, it's gonna be so much shit talking to you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I will lose gracefully. I'm just giving. I'm sorry. I don't even know if Colin left or he muted his mic or he's just.
No, I'm still here. I'm just listening to this shit talk now.
He's probably sitting.
I'm just listening to you trying to match what I kind of did during the week, and you're failing miserably. Whatever. Go on, carry on, champ,
shit.
with your half fucking B+ promos.
The disrespect. The disrespect. I will not stand for this. As your Smack Raw Predictions champions, I banish you from the kingdom. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. I think we should get out of here. I think we've rambled on for too much, guys. Obviously, the podcast can be found on multitude of sites. You can go ahead and find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you consume your podcast, guys. We're also on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe to this video, You can find us on Twitter at SmackRawPod. You can find me at SES Vince. Guys, any closing remarks? Where can people find you?
You can always find me at Calavera Comedy. Hit me up on Twitter. You want the smoke? You just want to talk? Whatever. Hit me up. It's your boy.
Colin doesn't want the smoke. He don't want the smoke. He don't want none of this. I came for him. I told you I was coming for that title, Colin. Woo!
So you can find me at WrestlingChump, the first ever predictions champ.
But you're a chump now. You're a chump.
I let Vince have his moment in the sun with his B+ promos. Keep them coming, champ. But I was the only one today in our group chat who kind of plumped with Rollins and went for this. And if you guys out there are listening to this and you don't like my comments, hit me up on Twitter. I'm always open for a chat. As long as it doesn't get too disrespectful, I'll talk wrestling with anybody and I'll argue with anybody. But
it's all fun and games.
keep it professional, keep it respectful, and I'll chat with anybody. You can call me a dick or whatever, but just don't tell me to go kill myself or anything.
Don't take this the wrong way, guys. We're secretly best friends behind when the camera isn't rolling, we're secretly best friends. This is all for show.
They really are, man. And it's kind of disgusting to see how vicious this championship has turned on.
Yeah, you're just mad because you're not included in this whole thing. Benji, you barely didn't lose. Okay, so
the Precious has that effect, and anyway. Go on. Let's wrap this up.
Let's go home, guys. We out of here. This has been the SmackDown podcast. I'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Good night.